YouTube faithful, let me talk to you. Today is none other than Flex Friday, baby. Look at these 22-inch pythons. They're there, and we're flexing on Friday, and we get a protected play, which means it's your day to shine, comment guy. It's your day to shine, low IQ NBA guy. Use your own prowess, use whatever you got, whatever you think is good, and make your own contest, aka a slip, because you're gonna get it back, win, lose, or draw. So put your skills to the test and get cooking. Now with that in mind, you can listen to old Crush over here. You click the thumbnail. Your next thing to do is acknowledge me and smash the like button. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. You won't regret it. And if you want to leave me a comment, you can do that as well. I appreciate it all. Now, roughly 24 hours ago, I was hit with a stomach bug that put me down for the count. 1, 2, 3, clean in the middle of the ring. Captain Crush was laying there tapping out, but I've been chugging water and I've been coming around, and I almost didn't do this YouTube video, but there was no way, and I mean no way, that I was gonna leave the YouTube faithful without a video for Flex Friday. That just isn't how I roll. It's gonna take more than a stomach bug to keep Captain Crush on the mat. I'm telling you right now. So with that out of the way, let's get started. First thing we're going to do is head over to Outlier, whatever you want to call it. Captain Crush could care less. We're going to look at the point spreads. We're going to look at the totals. We're going to see what we can find, okay? We got a couple down here that are low. Orleans Pelicans Heat 209, Cavs Wolves 206. Those are generally games you want to fade. This is a game that you want to attack. 5.5 point spread, 239.5 point total. You know it's going to be crispy on paper. So all we need to do is get it to be crispy on PrizePicks and in our slips, okay? That's the idea here. So you do this. You also use it as a research tool. You use Captain Crush's code. You use code CRUSH. They'll give you 30 days. Cap, I tried it. Doesn't work. Contact support. They'll honor it. Or better yet, just click the link in the description and it works. Okay? Either way, it's only $19.99 a month. Use code CRUSH. You'll get in the mix. I'm going to talk to them and see if I can get a discount code. For those of you that have already had a trial and now they've added everything back and you want to get back in the mix, I'm going to see if they'll give me a discount code for you guys. So let me work on that. Let Captain Crush cook. And speaking of cook, we're right back to PrizePicks on Flex Friday. And we got to talk about some stuff. First, I'm going to talk about these fantasy scores. Josh Giddey, Chet Holmgren, Shai Alexander. All my boys in the Thunder are in the mix. All of these lines are pretty low. Actually, Shai's the lowest. He hasn't had a good fantasy score ceiling game in quite a while. He did have 56 here, 32, 54. A lot of his equity comes from blocks and steals if he doesn't get those points. Assists, rebounds. I'm personally not going to go with any of these guys today except Josh Giddey and Chet Holmgren dunks, because don't forget, Captain Crush is the dunk king, the tribal chief. Oh yeah. I've pretty much been flawless on these dunk propositions. So now Chet's on the board. They only given us 2 now because they've probably been getting cut. But Chet Holmgren on the road, I don't love it, but I don't think there's anyone in Toronto that's going to be able to stop Chet. And I think that he can hammer it down twice and cash us for 2 dunks. It's 1 to 2 slips max now. It ain't an anchor, and it dang sure ain't the play of the day today, but I think you can have a little bit of exposure. Now, I do like Josh Giddey, okay? The Aussie, 26 fantasy score. The popular play I think everyone was talking about his points or his PRA. I'm probably just going to stick with his fantasy score or maybe even his PRA. I'm not sure yet. I'm not 100% sure yet, but the spread is abysmal. The spread scares me. It scares Captain Crush. So that's what you have to decide with that, what you're going to do with it. And Shai's always in the mix, but I personally am not going there today. The next decision you're going to have to make in this Wolves-Cavs game is, are you going to ride the LeVert train? Are you going to play Darius Garland? Are you going to play Jared Allen? Are you going to play Caris LeVert? I personally, the low-scoring game, I don't really have interest in it. If I'm going to go anywhere, it's going to be Caris LeVert, and I will probably take his RA or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I will be in touch on the live stream for those of you that are in the Cord, and for those of you that are in the YouTube, you're just going to have to figure it out. I will say this. LeVert has been trending up. He's been in the mix with no Donnie. Yo, Donnie. When's Donnie coming back? We need Donnie back in the mix like air. I'm begging you, Donnie, to get through. But you could see everyone's gonna see this and they're gonna light up like a Christmas tree in New York City. They're gonna see 12, 11, 7, 9, 11. Cap, is it hitting? Everyone's gonna put the, I'm calling it right now, just as sure as water is wet. Everybody's gonna be in the court. They're gonna be looking at this. They're gonna be like, Cap, why are we fading? Are we fading this? Are we taking it? You know what? Captain Crunch is gonna sit right back here. He's gonna take a sip of his Red Bull because my stomach needs. You know how I justified eating a Red Bull today? Drinking a Red Bull. I justified it simple. I said my stomach hurts. I need carbonation. I need bubblies. Captain Crush doesn't have any ginger ale in his fridge, so he's pounding a Red Bull. Let's go. That's crispy. Now, we're talking about LeVert. Don't get carried away, Crush. Let's go. We're talking about LeVert now. The matchup couldn't be worse. He's playing one of the best defenses in the league, if not the best, okay? I think it's the Celtics and Wolves. They're hand in hand if you ask old Crush. But we got to figure out what we're going to do. So here's the play. You can either full fade it because he's due regression, or you would take either one of these two for push equity, and then I guess you could dabble with the fantasy score, okay? Again, I'm going to hop on over to DG and see what they have LeVert priced at across the books. Remember, this is an amazing tool because what does it do? It doesn't give you picks or plays, so miss me with that. These aren't picks. It's just giving you the data. You still have to decide what it is you're going to want to do. Okay, new guy? I'm telling you, just listen to Captain Crush and he will guide you out of the land of poverty and into the land of milk and honey, baby. You got Karis LeVert right here, 12RA. It's 12.5 across every other book. So you know we're getting a 0.5 discount on PrizePicks, which also gives us a push if he happens to land on 12. Everything else is pretty much priced out of our range. So we go back here and now it makes it easy for us. I'm just going to stick with the R plus A and hope for the best. Now, you can use this tool and you can combine it with my projection sheets that look just like this that you get every day if you join my Discord, aka my Dub Club, okay? The link's in the description. And you also, if you want to get DG Fantasy, use code CRUSH and you will get 25% off because I already locked in the deal for the YouTube and Cord and all the faithful, baby. It's locked in. I'm dialed in. Outlier's next. So that's what I got to say about Karis LeVert, fellas and ladies. I didn't forget about you. Captain Crush loves the ladies, baby, and the ladies love Captain Crush. Let me tell ya. So the next man that I'm going to talk about, does he need an introduction? He's been crushing decade after decade. Not 10 years, but 20 years of excellence and dominance. Like him, hate him, or love him, you have to respect him, just like Captain Crush. 7.5 rebounds for the GOAT. It's in the mix. I'm telling you right now, everybody's on his points, but I will continue to take his rebounds. I might even get crispy and take his R plus A if I'm feeling froggy at 16.5. Man, that's high. Captain Crush used to take it at 14.5, then 15, then 16. Now it's all the way up to 16.5, but I still think it's in the mix. And even his blocks and steals. I like his blocks and steals always too, but my favorite's going to be his rebounds. I love to attack the 4 and 5 against Philly right now with no Embiid, and here I am on Outlier Bet, and you can see they're 29th in rebounds allowed to 4s, which is the power forward, which is LeBron James, where he's lining up, and as you can see, he's averaging 10 rebound chances a game, which means he only needs to miss 2 of those chances, and let's be honest, nobody's going to contest the GOAT. If the GOAT goes up for a rebound, bang, he goes up on the glass, he's grabbing it. Nobody on Philly's going to be getting in the man's way. So I will take a shot because the math is just mathin', folks. It's mathin'. I'm telling you, it's mathin'. Is it risky? Yeah, because it's going to be a blowout most likely. The Lakers are in playoff mode. They're trying to win games, as are the Warriors. In fact, so are the Houston Rockets. You can see a big trend. Things are starting to move. Teams that need to win are starting to try to win. It's a beautiful thing, Donnie. But I went ahead and took this. Now remember, the goal of these videos isn't to spoon feed you. It's to give you guys insight and try to break the slate down, condense it, and to get you thinking about things that I'm thinking about, okay? You should be watching these videos, comparing your own notes, using the tools and fundamentals that I talk about here into your own process, integrate them. That is what somebody that is smart would do. A jabroni, somebody that has no IQ, would literally go through this video, skip around, and try to find a slip, and he's gonna lose coin, and bang, be on the deposit screen 8 out of 10 times. I'm telling you right now, I'm preaching gospel. What I want you guys to do, what I need you guys to do, like air, is to actually be thinking about these things. Each and every slip, correlation, thoughts. Think about both sides of the coin, overs and unders. How do they get there? What's a scenario where they don't get there? All of that stuff comes into play, and that is how I think about my things each and every day, guys. And when I come on these YouTubes, Captain Crush only has 20 to 30 minutes to try to condense it all for you guys, and I do my best, but some things are never going to get over as much as they should, which is why I have my Discord and live streams Monday through Friday, unless I got a stomach bug like yesterday, bang! It kept me on the mat for 3. Captain Crush, I was pinned for 3. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't happen often, but it did happen yesterday. I apologize to the court faithful, but today is a new day, and like I said, I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm chugging water, I'm drinking Red Bull, and I'll get this done. And I guess this is as good as a segue as any. If you want to get in my Discord, you go to CaptainCrush.net. Real simple. www.CaptainCrush.net. You slide on down to the gold package. Silver gets you my plays. Gold gets you in my Discord. I will answer your questions, talk about slips, give you my slips. You get my projection sheet, which I showed early in the video, access to the live streams, and all of it, baby. They still have that March Madness Discord on Dub Club. So if you buy a year, 6 months, that's the best value. Obviously, 1 month is there, but you use this code and you will get 25% off. And in my Discord, you will find a bunch of people that take this as serious as I do. Not as serious as I do, but they take what I say serious. They do make slips. I got role members that put slips. You'll have everything, every opportunity, every chance to win in my Discord if you follow the people I tell you to follow and you listen to what I say. Eddie cooked yesterday, cash on the cord while I was out with a bug. Beal, Fox, and Burns. It was a shame that other college basketball discount sold, but the fact is, it's variance, man. Things happen. I was on a 7-day heater of straight wins. Yesterday was my first L in 8 days. It was Hook City. My play of the day, Luka, smashed. He hit, which is lucky. It's a good thing that he hit. He got 34 points. We beat the Hook. This was my 2-man on Sleeper that I gave out for their discount, a crispy 3X. I did Luka and that thing. That was the 2-man. I told you guys about Jalen Green's points now, didn't I? Cash it. That was a 2-man that I gave out. It wasn't a good day for 5 and 6-mans because of all the hooks, but I did give out a lot of winning plays. And if you mix and match and break the big slips down into 2-mans like Captain Crush preaches every single day, you would have still had a decent day. Not a massive day, but a decent day. Luka Green, McCollum Kyrie, cash. This is how it is done. This is how winning is done. Mixing and matching, okay? Everybody had access to the 2-man that I gave out, Jalen Green and Luka. It's unfortunate that Cam Thomas hooked at 21.5. That's always a thing, a risk you take, boys. But anyways, people are still getting in the mix. Even on bad days, they're still getting W's. And sometimes it is just going to be a 2-man or a 3-man that hits, because not every day is going to be a home run. Captain Crush is expected to hit home runs every single day. And unfortunately, sometimes they go foul ball, but it was still in the mix. Appreciate everybody that posts their dubs. Some of you guys still forget to post your dubs. I didn't even get to post my dubs because I was off the cord last night at 6 p.m. But anyways, again, you will get access to all this. My role member tab, captain slip tab, my live streams Monday through Friday, and my projection sheets that look just like this. And remember, everybody was on Kean Ellis yesterday, and I didn't like it, but in the end, I ended up putting him on there because he was plus EV out of nowhere. I had him projected for 0.78 steals and 0.6 blocks, which only equals 1. And guess what? He had 1. Okay, that is why the last 5 mean nothing. The public sentiment means next to nothing. You gotta stick with your gut, follow the projections, make the right plays day in and day out. I should have stuck with my gut, even though my gut was a rumbling mess last night, and kept the fade. The moral of the story is Captain Crush has to stick with his gut and stick to his guns. If it didn't show up on EV, I was never taking it, not even in 1. It was always the model. But let's keep cooking. I hope to see you guys in the live stream today, and I hope to get new Cord members before that discount runs its course. Now, the thumbnail. Captain Crush makes his own thumbnails. He does his own editing, and I haven't done it yet, but I'm telling you right now, it's most likely going to be this man right here, Trey Jones, baby. Let's swap over to the notepad real quick. Everybody's going to be on Jeremy Sohan, but Captain Crush is on Trey Jones. 0.98 fantasy point per minute with a small 15% usage rate. Granted, his usage rate has been going up lately. They're playing Memphis. Low total, whatever spread, but I project him to do well, and I'm going with my read, okay? So let's go over here to the calculator. Real quick, simple math, basic math with Captain Crush. 0.98, we're going to multiply it times 32. He's been averaging 30 to 33 minutes over like the last 7 games. Bang, he gets 31. Now, is it going to be a sweat? Fella, it's the San Antonio Spurs, and it's Greg Popovich. Of course it's going to be a sweat. Does Joel Embiid wear a banana suit? Yes, the answer is yes. It's going to be a sweat. So the fantasy score's in the mix. And I guess his assist because you get push equity. But most likely, folks, I'm going to ride or die with the fantasy score. If he sells, he sells. He's been cashing me. This scares me because technically he's due regression now. But I don't think it's going to be against the poverty Memphis Grizzlies. So Trey Jones, you just made the list for I think maybe the second time. I think I gave him out the other day in our sweep. Hopefully he gets it done. And I did talk about Jeremy Sochan, and I'm going to tell you right now, everybody's going to be on his assists. And it's a decent play, but here's the reality. Well, they took it off the board on PrizePicks, but you will be able to find Jeremy Sohan's assists somewhere on Sleeper or Parlay Play or Chalkboard. Use code CRUSH, links in the description. That'll get you access into the court as well. But on PrizePicks, his R+A can be considered because it will give you push equity. But honestly, this is probably my favorite one for Jeremy Sohan besides the assist at 2.5. So they don't have that anymore on PrizePicks. You got to go somewhere, and I think this is the play. He's a menace. He gets blocks and steals. His usage rate is super low, so do not expect a lot of points from Jeremy Sohan, you pre-chalker, because it's low. And on top of that, do not put Sohan and Trey Jones in the same slip, okay? I don't think that's wise given the fact that the point total is low. And then obviously, I always have exposure to Wembanyama's blocks and steals if it's on the board. They have it at 4.5 just blocks. I think that's a little bit too high. I won't have exposure to it today. If I could find blocks and steals at 4.5 or something, maybe, just maybe, I'd get in the mix. But I'm probably just going to fade Wemby today. Not that he's a bad play. He's always in the mix. But I'm just going to go with Sohan and Trey Jones for the reasons that I stated above. Now, Sohan averages 0.91 fantasy point per minute with a 19% usage rate, okay? Now, Gary Trent Jr. sold everyone last game. He hooked Captain Crush out of $1,000. His fantasy score was 31.5, and he got 31.2. A 0.3 hook, and it hurt. It hurt me, baby. It hurt me. But I don't care. I bounce back. It's in the mix, but listen carefully now. One slip max. It's a 15-point spread. The matchup isn't good for him, but somebody's going to have to do something on this team. He just played in a similar low-pace, low-scoring Orlando matchup, and he was able to cover. Now, he averages 0.78 fantasy points per minute with an only 19% usage rate. That's not good. As you can see, 0.78, multiply it times 30, and you only get 23. Now, on average, it ain't hitting. So you have to make a decision, but I will tell you this right now. One slip max if you have exposure to Gary Trent. I don't love it today, but I do want to give him a chance to bounce back and cash my slip. So I wanted to mention that there because I know the last 5 are green and people are going to be asking about it. So there you go. Next, I'm going to talk about 2 more guys and then I'm going to wrap it up like a Christmas present. Now, I love LeBron's rebounds and R+A, but there's another guy flying low on the radar, and his name is Austin Reeves, Mr. Heart. I love these guys that have heart in them, okay? He hustles. He's a guy that shows a lot of heart. Austin Reeves, I think his PRA has to be considered, and I think his fantasy score also has to be considered. He's averaging 0.99 fantasy points per minute with a 20% usage rate. That's not bad. 0.99, multiply it times 30. Bang! 29.7. He covers, okay? Barely, but he covers on average. The matchup ain't gonna be bad for him, okay? I'm not worried about anyone on that matchup, so both of these have to be considered, and we're gonna need, just like with LeBron, we're gonna need the game to stay close. So another person you can consider, I'm giving you a ton of options today because it's Flex Friday, baby. And then I gotta talk to you about the Warriors game. There's two guys that are gonna make or break this slate. This is the premier game on the slate as far as matchup and over, under, and spread. So we got Klay Thompson at 24.5 points. Fantasy point. Now the Warriors are at home and they're trying to win games, baby. They're trying to win games. So it's got to be him or Chris Paul. Everyone's probably going to go to Curry or Kuminga. Curry and Kuminga are always in the mix. Captain Crush is trying to give you something else from the same game that everyone else isn't talking about, okay? You have Chris Paul or Klay Thompson to consider. Now again, I wouldn't put both of these guys in the same contest, but I think you have to consider it. Actually, this combo right here is pretty decent. If you're going to take combo props today, I think that one is pretty decent. And there was another one earlier with Halliburton and Klay Thompson three-pointers made, but it looks like they removed it, which is part of the game. So here we are, back to these two. Chris Paul, this one's okay. I don't really love, the combos are so surgical. They've literally got them down to a science. It's crazy. But a guy like Hallie could literally get 12 in his own, and then you only need 6 from Chris Paul. So you consider all those angles. It could go the other way, or they could both chalk. You never know. You got to decide these things for yourself, but at least you do get push equity. But Klay or Chris Paul's fantasy is in the mix. Even Chris Paul at 9.5 RA or his PRA, same thing with Klay. Here's the thing with these guys, okay? This is going to be very, very risky. They're at home, they're trying to win games, and they can always blow teams out. Even as bad as they've been, if they get hot from behind the line, if Curry gets hot, it's over. Kuminga literally just had a masterclass of his life, jamming and throwing down dunks like you wouldn't believe. If you didn't get a chance to watch that game versus Memphis, I advise you go back. Now, both of these guys only play 25 minutes on average. Klay can sometimes get a little bit more than 30, but Chris Paul is only going to get 20 to 25 minutes, and you have to consider those things. I would assume that Chris Paul's PRA is probably going to be a popular play, maybe even his points at 9. But my favorite for Chris Paul is his R plus A period, okay? That's probably what I will have my exposure to. And then with Klay Thompson, it's probably going to be his fantasy score, so I get access to all of it. But again, these are not anchors. They're darts. They're literally going to be limited exposure, but it was worth talking about because I know you guys, I know how you guys are, and I'm mentioning it here for everyone to see. That is my thoughts on both of these guys. The matchup is mint and crispy. Fast-paced up spot for both of them, and they need to win. But again, because of the minutes, remember, Captain Crush always tells you minutes equals money in this game, fella. And it's going to be rough to predict their minutes, especially with a guy like Steve Kerr running the train, okay? We all know Kerr's poverty when it comes to rotations. And I will tell you this right now, don't be surprised if they get limited minutes out of nowhere, because it can happen. Kerr's known for that. And now, because I was going to wrap it up, there is a lot more stuff that I want to talk about. I'm saving it for my live stream as news pours in. But what I did is I took advantage of all the promotions I could find, and I'm also giving you guys, since it's Flex Friday, all the slips that I have for all the books, baby. Chalkboard has a couple of promotions. Sleeper has a $20 protected play. Parlay Play's going to have a discount later, and UnderDog will probably have a discount later. So here we go. This is Captain Crush's Chalkboard slip. It's 10 to win 30, almost a full 3x. I used alternate lines. I talked about each of these. Here's my sleeper that I'm taking today. This pays 3.84x. This is my UnderDog slip, which I flexed. It pays 6x if it hits. And this is my parlay slip that pays a crispy 2x using alternate lines. Look at this. I got LeBron at 4.5, Cade at 6.5, and Sohan at 1.5 assists. That's what it is down there. And I'm doing this because I want you guys to give these sites a try. Don't limit yourself just to PrizePicks. Code CRUSH on any of these 4 sites will get you 100% deposit match and more bonuses. On top of that, you send Captain Crush an email with proof of deposit. I give you a 30-day ticket into my Discord right away. No games. I will honor it as soon as I get to my email. Again, Parlay Play, UnderDog, Sleeper, and Chalkboard. And I'm doing that because I know it's Flex Friday, baby. Captain Crush knows, and everyone's going to be on PrizePicks, but that's the trap. You guys need to make sure that you're looking and using every site's promotion. Don't be tribalistic to one. The only person you need to be tribalistic to is the tribal chief, Captain Crush. That's me. You YouTube faithful, you Cord faithful, I love you guys. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe. I'm doing the best I can, stomach and all, baby. In fact, mid-video, I had to run to the bathroom, you dig? But I will still get this done. They cannot keep me down for a 3 back-to-back. Captain Crush lays down for nobody, baby. I don't put anybody over. So, with all that in mind, folks, there will be a live stream today at 5 p.m. Central. It's a big slate. There's going to be a lot of news coming down the pike. You got to be on your P's and Q's. Captain Crush bids you adieu. Thanks for checking out the channel. If you like the cut of my jib, if you want to jip and jive with Captain Crush, you smash that like button. You hit the subscribe. You leave your boy a comment if you learned anything at all. Sign up with any of my partners. Outlier, UnderDog, all of them, baby. Free month of the Cord. And then you go to CaptainCrush.net. Gold package will get you in my live stream today at 5 Central. I hope to see you there. There's promos on every site. Dub Club has a promo of its own. Folks, now is the time. We only got a couple weeks left of NBA before the print press becomes full effect. NBA playoffs is a money printer for Captain Crush. And then we're going to slide into the WNBA and the MLB, and we're going to crush all that too. So I appreciate you guys more than anything, more than you know. Thanks for checking up on me in the Cord the other day. I appreciate you guys so much. I can't say it enough. Captain Crush sends his love. Here's the salute. And as always, my brothers and sisters in Christ, let's crush on them on this Flex Friday.